12-year-old Kingston James is sure his brother Khalid has turned into a dragonfly. When Khalid unexpectedly passed away, he shed what was his first skin for another, to live down by the bayou in their small Louisiana town. It would be easier if King could talk with his best friend, Sandy Sanders, but just days before he died, Khalid told King to end their friendship after overhearing that Sandy might be gay. But then King agrees to help Sandy escape from his abusive father, and the two build their own private paradise down by the bayou and among the dragonflies. As King's friendship with Sandy is reignited, he's forced to confront questions about himself and the reality of his brother's death. Here is a look at King and the Dragonflies by Kacen Callender. This book was an honor book in 2021 for the Coretta Scott King Author Award, and it was also the 2020 winner of the National Book Award. Let's get to know our protagonist. My name is King. Well, it's actually Kingston, but everyone calls me King. Kingston Reginald James. I hate my name. It makes me sound like I'm big-headed to anyone and everyone, even if they've only just met me, even if they don't even know me. My mom and dad told me once, long before my brother died, that they named me King so I'd remember who I am, where I came from, that I've got ancestors who used to rule their own empires before they were stolen away, that I've got the blood of gods. That's what they say, and maybe it makes sense, but it doesn't change the fact that everyone looks at me like I'm a fool whenever I tell them my name. King James? Is that a joke? I try to make sure I don't act as big-headed as my name sounds. I keep my mouth shut unless someone asks me a question with my name in front, and I make sure to say please and thank you. And I hold open doors and carry bags for little old ladies crossing the street, and I say, yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, exactly the way I was taught. Most people think that because I don't say much, I'm the shyest king to ever walk the earth, but I'm not actually shy. I just don't like to speak as much. I speak even less now that Khalid is gone. My dad drops me off at school on his way to the construction site across town, like he does every morning. And before I can jump out of the truck, he puts a hand on my shoulder and does that thing he always does these days, staring so hard at my face, I think he might be trying to memorize the number of holes in my skin. Maybe in that quick second, he remembered the way he'd dropped my brother off at school, too. Have a good day, he says, squeezing my shoulder a little. Thank you, sir. He hesitates. I love you. Now, my dad never says those words. I've never heard them come out of his mouth. Not once. Never to my mom. Never to my brother. Never to me. With my mom, before everything changed, she'd say it when she hugged me or told me good night, the sort of I love you that almost sounds like the beginning of a song or a long poem with that smile of hers. A real one. Not the fake smile she likes to give all the time now. So I'd know that, yes, my mom loves me and always will love me, no matter what. With Khalid, he used to say it quick, almost like a joke we shared, just between us. Love you, bro. He didn't say it all the time, but he did before the soccer championship, when he had to go to Mississippi for a weekend, and when he had to go to Washington, D.C. for his debate team. He'd stick his hand in my hair and ruffle up the already tangled curls with a laugh. Love you. But my dad? I've never once heard those words come out from his mouth. I freeze solid when I hear him say it. I have no clue what to do. My dad lets go of me and looks away without another word, his truck still rumbling. I slide out of my seat and onto the ground and slam the door shut behind me. My dad's truck rolls away, and I stand there like I plan on growing roots from the bottoms of my feet. Should I have said it back? It'd feel weird telling my dad something like that. It's not like it isn't true. Of course I love my dad, but that's just the sort of thing you don't say. At least, it isn't the sort of thing we say to each other. Out of nowhere, someone jumps on my back and almost pitches me forward into the dirt. I spin around. Daryl! He cackles, bending over to heave a laugh. Daryl's always laughing. Hearing his laugh used to make me want to laugh right along with him, but these days, I just want to ask him why he thinks everything's so funny all the time. Anthony is also there, backpack slung over his shoulder. Why are you just standing here? He asks, and we start walking. Past the basketball court and over the brown-green field of grass to the bench where everyone sits before class. Well, not everyone. Camille decided that this bench was only for the people she likes, and whenever anyone else tries to sit down, Camille snaps at them to get on up and leave. I know it isn't very nice, but I don't want to get into a fight with her about it, so I just shut my mouth and sit down with the rest of them. Okay, so here's the rundown. There's Daryl, who's shorter than everyone around, but will beat anyone at basketball, and then laugh in their face when he's won. There's Anthony, who is white and probably the most mature on account of the fact that he's 14 and was held back because he wasn't doing his homework. He says he's too busy helping out his dad with the crawfishing. But he's also the kind of person who will listen and won't judge or be mean for any reason. There's Brianna, who's taller than all of us, but I don't know much else about her except that she's Camille's best friend. There's Camille, who says she's the prettiest girl in our class because she's light-skinned and has eyes that aren't brown. But I secretly think Jasmine is even prettier. Jasmine has skin and eyes as dark as Lupita Nyong''s and thick hair that fans out like a halo. Her eyes turn up at the corners and are lined by thick eyelashes. She doesn't try too hard to stand out. That's what I like most about her. She sits on top of the bench, her Converses on the seat. I sit down beside her. How are you? She asks. And I also like how she asks this question because she doesn't mean it in an "are you okay now that your brother's dead" way. She means it in a "you can tell me anything you want to when you're ready" way. I tell her I'm okay, and we start talking about our favorite anime shows, and Daryl interrupts by making kissing sounds. Stop that, Daryl. You're so annoying, Camille says. I'm not annoying, he yells. You're annoying. She puts her hands on her hips. Good job, Daryl. Great comeback. Daryl's face turns purple, and it's obvious that he's trying to come up with a better response. Camille smirks. Don't hurt yourself now. Jasmine rolls her eyes, but I can feel embarrassment radiating from her because it's radiating from me too. Can't a guy and a girl just be friends without everyone thinking they're boyfriend and girlfriend? Jasmine looks at me like she's thinking the exact same thing. But then I wonder, does Jasmine want to go out with me? I've never had a girlfriend before. I don't think Jasmine's ever had a boyfriend before. If we like each other, is that what we're supposed to do? What's the difference between liking Jasmine as a friend and liking Jasmine as a girlfriend? And if we do start going out, what would that mean? That we'd have to kiss and hold hands and slow dance at the winter formal? Maybe I can ask Khalid on our walk back home from school. The girls always like him, always flock around him and ask him out on dates, and then I remember, and an invisible hand reaches right into my chest and clutches my heart so hard it stops. The pain must be all across my face because Jasmine whispers, "Are you okay, King?" "Yes," I say, praying she doesn't say another word. I don't want any attention on me, not right now, not when I can feel my eyes starting to sting from the salt. My prayers are answered because Jasmine nods and leaves it alone. I don't have much to worry about anyway. The others are too busy having their fun. "Leave them alone, Daryl," Camille says, smacking his arm. "You're just jealous." He puts a hand to his chest in mock offense. Me? Jealous? Yes. He's actually offended this time. Of what? "You're jealous because no one likes you." Camille puts her hands on her hips with a smirk. "Well, except Brianna." Brianna blinks, rapid fire. "What? No, I don't. I don't like." There's a good long silence. Brianna snatches up her backpack and rushes away. Daryl raises an eyebrow. "Wait, Brianna likes me? We'd look horrible together. She's way too tall." "No," Camille says, "you're way too short." That really gets Daryl going. There are plenty of short men, you know. Bruno Mars, Kevin Hart. Jasmine shakes her head, standing up from the bench. "That wasn't nice, Camille." Aziz Ansari, and then there's that guy from all the Harry Potter movies. Camille shrugs. "What? Nothing's going to happen if she just keeps her crush to herself." "But it wasn't your secret to tell," Jasmine says. Camille narrows her eyes. She doesn't like it very much when people argue with her. But Jasmine only shakes her head again and says she's going to find Brianna. She runs off, backpack slapping her back. Daryl slides up onto the bench beside me, taking her place. "There's no way Brianna likes me," he says. "Isn't she too tall, King?" I don't know. I can still feel tears built up in my throat. I swallow them down, playing with the zipper on my backpack. "Why should something like that matter?" He frowns. "Because it does. Of course it matters. The guy is supposed to be taller than the girl." I don't like arguments. I don't like to say anything unless someone asks me to. So I don't know why the next words shoot out of my mouth the way they do. Says who? And this has been a look at King and the Dragonflies.